friends. Welcome to the Conqueror's Mentality. You have your host, Ave Maria
Yeah.
and Nayak. Today we will be talking about, can I complain about what I asked for? And I am actively not looking for friends. How does that even make sense, y'all? I literally, I sound like I do sound like a single person that is looking
You
for
do?
they
Yeah,
husband.
because I'm
Wow. Wow.
right. Is your friend's about to be Amazon package next day delivery? No.
It's it wow. Now I get it. I get it
Yeah.
now. I
Mm.
will not find my friend next to the
Being inside
TV.
the house. No, you won't. That won't happen.
Wow, I just made that
I'm
connection.
glad. I am glad you're
Oh,
finding your
I gotta put myself out there. That's terrible. I thought
girl.
the Cooper Hog wine tasting was enough, but I gotta invite
No,
people to go.
no. You said there's more to life than drinking, and that's
It
the other
is more
thing.
to life to drink, and that is so true. Man, I probably need to. So yeah, okay. I see. I see. I've learned so much in this podcast.
Okay, okay. I'm glad we're doing this.
But yeah, no, I think all of that is like having to do with how your mental state is, supporting your childlike version, loving on yourself in your 20s,
Wow.
the present version, future, and past.
You're doing it in the midst of your waiting season because I really do feel like in your waiting season is when moments like these happen that you're like thinking about these things and you're grappling with these things of, okay, do I heal my inner child, right? Like, is that what I need to do? Or is this, like there are just so
Yeah.
many things because you aren't distracted by the thing that wasn't even meant for you in the first place.
Yes.
Or right? So I really I think all of these conversations, these topics, I mean, very much tied to how do you what do you do in the midst of your waiting season?
And I think, and I could be wrong, so let me know your thoughts. But I think the better you handle your waiting season, the more fruitful the blessing will be. So, and I don't mean, let me clarify. When I say the better you are, that doesn't mean the happiest. I don't mean that the most successful. I don't mean any of that. I mean the most honest, transparent, and accountable you are in that season.
Mm,
So you have to set yourself up for that. And I know a lot of time in your waiting season, you don't know what it will be.
yeah.
So you just gotta build some skills. And I don't mean like physical skills, it mean characteristics, skills
I
that you
literally
would need.
I think of like planting, right? Like it's literally planting a seed. You can either plant it in stony ground, you can plant it on fertile ground, you can plant it on, right? And as you're waiting, are you honest with yourself in the conditions in which you're planting your seeds, right? Are you nourishing it with the right things that are going to nourish it? Or are you, right? Like, are you not
Yeah.
watering yourself? Are you
Yes.
not pruning the things that are around you so that your fruits can truly harvest, right? Like, it's literally planting season as you're waiting because the seed is dormant,
Yeah.
not moving. It's dormant. It's waiting for the growth period because the right minerals, the right things. I'm not a scientist, but I think that's what scientists say. Like photosynthesis and all that nonsense is being fed. I don't know. I don't know. I tried.
I
Okay.
see what you're saying, like the seed is trying to create roots and
Roots.
ground itself and absorb the soil
Exactly. But you got
so
to make
that
sure
it's like a
you're
part.
doing the right things for it in the midst of your waiting season.
Or are you just complaining?
Well,
I don't think this is gonna be our first time, unfortunately.
okay.
I think the level of the situation that we're going through now is that when we turn 18, and I don't know if it's just me, I thought I had the world figured out. Okay. I thought I had it in the bag. All I needed was a job because I needed money, but I had this together. Okay. And I think we're at the realization now in our 28, we ain't got nothing figured out.
No, not a dare. No. Mm-mm.
I barely know my name at this point.
Literally, somebody asked me yesterday, "How old am I?" Confidently, 27. Confidence. I was like, "Ooh, wait. No, you're
Wait, you did not say
I did.
27.
I did, with confidence, girl."
I take a pause every time.
Yeah.
And you know what's messed up? I be taking a pause and counting in my head. I'm like, I think about somebody I know whose age, like I'll think of my brother's age, or I think of my nephew's age, or I think of Richard's age, and I'll
No.
just do the count them out.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I feel like you should know, like, okay, this is X amount of years before 30. So that's kind of how I think about it. Is like I'm like, all right, so 30 is 27, so I gotta backtrack how many years we are now. I have to do math. You gotta add math
No,
somewhere.
I do math. I just do math in a different way. And also, I'm so excited about 30. I can't wait.
I've been saying, minus yesterday where I said I was 27, I've been saying like my friends back in Boston, we go out and I'm like, I'm 30. And they're like, Rhea, no, you're not. Stop saying that. Stop
No,
aging
I
out.
don't
You're
want
not
it to come
the age.
early.
Like,
I
I'm
don't
30.
want it, but I cannot wait because the level of transparency I will have at 30. That's and that's the thing.
Mm,
Then maybe that's what the wait was for, because God told me to wait too. I did get that notification too.
mm.
And but I think I've been waiting. I'm trying to figure out how to say this in the right way. I've been waiting for the opportunity of freedom.
But
And to me, transparency is my level of freedom.
but why does that have to be tied to an age? And I'm curious, is it because of like this idea of wisdom and you have to go through enough of life for you to be able to be transparent?
No, I think I've lived 27 years of being, I don't want to say a secret, like living two multiple lives, I should say.
Mhm.
uh, and it's going to take a few years to debunk it. But
Okay.
like every stage where I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm so excited. I'm doing this. I'm so excited. So I know by 30, I'm going to have this thing down.
Happening
So by
fast. Ain't no
40 or
problem.
35, we can reset it for the 40s.
Mm,
Like, I can't wait. It's so exciting because, and I get it now why they say 20 or 30 is the new 20 is because at 30, you are the best version of yourself. You're not the version of your parents that your parents wanted you to be.
you need to
You're
be.
not trying to figure it out or in the sense of who you are. You might try to figure out this version of you because you might be a wife or a mother or this or that. That's a version of you, but you
Yeah.
at least got the basis down, like
Yeah. You
the
got the good
basics,
foundation. Your foundation is
the
that. Yeah.
foundation of who
Now
I
you're
am.
building. Now you're building. This is the fun part. You get to,
You
hmm
know, just live, and I
Yeah.
just want to live. Like I think we spent a lot of time, especially if you're Christian, a lot of time carrying other people's judgment. I'm ready to literally drop kick that girl. Okay, far
Yeah.
away from me. I don't care. I don't want to care about
Don't
nobody's
drop kick
judgment.
her. I very much want to cradle her. I'm like, it's okay, baby. Like, we are stepping into who we are. Because I feel like that's a critical part of who you like. And I know it's so hard. Like, I do think of the insecure girl that was like people pleasing and doing all these other things. But I also think about the other, I don't know, 18-year-olds who are struggling with that.
Yeah.
And I can, because I have held myself in that moment and have said, hey, it's okay. We have learned and we have grown from here. I can also support other women and say, other young women and say, like, hey, it's okay. It's like being 18 probably does suck. It does. I remember that. I remember holding myself, like, I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I'm like, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Get it out. But at the same time, I'm like, she deserved a hug. She
See,
deserved. Yeah.
I don't know. And again, this might be somebody I've talked to in therapy. I don't want to hug her.
Right. But that person that you once were got you to where you are now. So you can't kick her to the curb. You gotta
No,
carry her along.
no, it's not kick her to the curb. It's, "Hey, we're done with that version."
Oh,
And
absolutely.
just like spring cleaning, you clear out the old versions.
See, I
That
hear
and
you.
then that might be just me because whenever
Yeah.
I'm in a new phase, I clean everything. Like, I throw out everything.
And I do the same thing. I think it's because I've always so my friend had asked a question. We were at dinner and she said between the past, future, and present, which do you live most in? If you could only pick, like, if you were to describe yourself at this moment, which do you live most in? I was like, ooh, that's a beautiful question. And then it was like, I wish I remember like word for word. Like if you were to pick two, right? Like there's one that you live most in, and then there's one that like accompanies you. Which one is
Yeah.
it? And so I very much said I am a past person, but I'm always looking to the future. So I very much neglect my present.
Interesting.
I very much am like,
Sorry.
okay, who I once was has contributed to where I am going. And so I'm always future thinking, but like past is very much a big part of me because I feel like without my past selves, I wouldn't be here. And so I have to acknowledge my past self. But then in the midst of that, I neglect my present, if that makes sense.
No, I'm with you. Um, I'm reverse, or I
Okay.
should say I was reverse. So I think at the beginning of this year, I lived in the future because
Mm,
I was preparing. I'm constantly thinking like, okay, this is gonna be the next step that's gonna get me here, and I was constantly living in the future, using the past as reasons on why I should make changes or do whatever I needed to do, and not being present. But
mm,
the not being present, I think that was the problem. So I think now I'm living in the present, looking forward to the future,
future. That's where I
and
aiming.
not using the past, like only thinking about the positive in the past.
Hmm.
Because so often in my time, I've only thought about the negative. So
Interesting.
I made a conscious decision to just think about the positive, because if I just think about the positive and not about like, okay, this person did me wrong, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. We're in our like late 20s. We're creating our own families. If someone did you wrong, just cut them out. Like, let's be honest. Just let it go. Okay? Because they'll
Time.
either figure it out and come back, or whatever you're irritated with, it will subside
Yeah.
and you don't
I
hear
literally
any.
I hit a point where it's like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot they did that." Like, I don't have the time or the energy to hold on to that because there's just so much better things in life to hold on to. And so it's just like, I don't literally, when it comes to the past thinking, it's very much of myself, and it's always like, I don't wanna make the same mistakes that I've made in the past in my future. So
Yeah.
that's very much why I'm like, "Okay, we can't do the things. This is what we've done in the past. We're not doing that." We need to fix our future. But I think I'm transitioning very much into the present and future phase while still acknowledging because I think it's just a me thing is I very much I don't know past me just deserved so much love, right? And like that's a lot of why I give love to myself now, not just because of the things of the past, but because who I am in the present also deserves that too. And to neglect my stories feels like neglecting me. So, and a lot
Mhm.
of like my poetry and a lot of, my art in general is very much of I'm acknowledging you because you weren't acknowledged then and because you will forever be acknowledged now as
Yeah.
we go into the future.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, then in that case, I don't think you could only have two choices.
But that was the question, so you gotta pick two.
No, no, what you're saying makes sense though, and it makes me want to change my answer because it's almost like okay, okay. I stand by what I said. Let's start with that. I
Okay.
do stand by what I said. I think you're right that the past does, and maybe that's your new version. So the present is now the past version, and the giving your old version a hug or acknowledging their presence when they weren't acknowledged, actually no, because that's still the present. Because you're honoring that person or that version in the present.
In the present.
So
But
yeah,
I think I was living though in the past because I'm like, oh, but they needed love, not like I need love, if that makes sense.
oh
Yeah. And so that's how I was living. Now I'm like, oh, baby girl, you need love. Right. And
yeah,
everything by loving you now is loving you in the past too.
okay.
Hmm.
So then when I say like I made my childhood version of myself or that statement, the childhood version of yourself happy, that's you living in the present,
Yeah.
making the older version happy. Like when I bought Ellie, that was my childhood version happy.
That was the childhood version of you, for sure. I do think, right, like loving your inner child is very much an act of the present, right? I literally wrote a poem recently about like letting my inner child free
Yeah.
and being able to love the person I am now, acknowledging that my inner child hasn't been able to run free. And so it's like, how do you love the two simultaneously when she seems so far out of reach, right? But I think, and this is like literally going back to, I think, how we started, or I don't even think that, like you talking about your conversation with Richard and things like that, of just being friends with your person, right? And like just doing the goofy things and like doing the things like I've always been a philosophical person. I've always been a like mathematician, let's talk deep. I was talking deep with my dad at like 3. So that is a form of living my inner child.
Right.
It might not seem childlike, but like I was a weird child, so I'll own it to it.
No, but I think by letting your inner child is the things that may bring you joy. So like the fact that you still work in mathematics, that brings you joy.
Yeah,
You
girl.
know, the numbers bring you joy, and that's your child. So, like the other day, I went to the grocery store, and I just counted our groceries in my head.
Little
That's what
thing.
I used to do as a kid. That to me is fun. Now, is that crazy? Yes, I recognize that. But that little moment, it takes no time to calculate your groceries in your head.
Mm-mm.
But it was fun to do, and it was an activity.
Mm-mm.
And while it's not a child behavior, quote unquote, it was fitting and it was fun.
Yeah.
So I think healing the childlike version of yourself, yes, you acknowledge them, but also at the same time, I do that by doing everything present. So anything that I wanted to do as a kid, I do now. Like
Mm.
I wanted a puppy as a kid, I did now. I was talking about getting a trampoline yesterday,
Do it.
an
I love
in-ground
that.
one, because I don't want to break a bone.
Fair enough.
But
Getting up there.
but I'm just saying, like, and I also think healing the childlike version of you is healing or providing the love and care to others. So
Yeah.
I feel the childlike version of myself when I see kids
Mm.
and they're not being acknowledged or they're being ignored. Also, just being heard is just an experience that everybody should have. And so
Mm.
I think I heal that. And I acknowledge that in those moments by helping others. Because I don't think me personally, I don't think my childhood version needs healing.
Mm.
I just think my childhood version needed to be seen.
Mm.
And now that I've acknowledged that she exists and that the feelings that she had experienced or go through was real and she was valid in her feelings, that's really all she needed.
Mm.
And I thought I needed other people to acknowledge it. And I really didn't because they were never going to acknowledge it because that's not the version of the story that they remember.
That's so interesting because I'm thinking about how everybody's child, inner child needs something different. I think like what they I don't know, I always think about it as like an inner child needs healing, and
Mhm.
that's like immediately what it is, but yours needed to be acknowledged, and I'm trying to think about what mine needed. I think mine genuinely needed just to be a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not to grow up fast, and I think that's one thing that I struggle with right now is I don't know how to be like,
Yeah. Have fun. I know. Yeah.
yeah,
That's literally what my husband is for. He teaches me how to have fun.
yeah,
I when I say like when we first started getting together, I used to be like, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that?" Like, da, 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 da." And he's just like you care so much about these random folks that will never see you again. So do the dumb stuff.
yeah,
But you have to allow yourself to be present in that moment and allow yourself the freedom to do so. You can't
mm,
have a deep conversation
not,
and
yeah,
not be able to take a risk because you got to make a statement that picks a side. You can't stay
yeah,
gray in a deep conversation.
yeah.
And so he was saying that about having fun. You got to take a risk. At some point you got to allow yourself to look stupid. Maybe at not that level though. Okay, but
Yeah,
I got the point of the the story. I did, and I've learned so much from then.
yeah. And I think that's one thing that I have learned while dating is I want somebody who's fun.
Yeah,
Like, I just want somebody who's goofy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Because you could be serious anytime. Like we could be serious at work. Come on now.
yeah, I don't
Have
need to always be so serious.
no, don't. Yeah, don't be so serious. Just have a good time. Laugh at yourself. Your skating was a good time. That was feeding the childhood version of yourself.
That
And I'm
was very.
surprised you haven't done it, now. You have the best place to do it.
I didn't bring my skates with me
Damn.
because I didn't know what the landscape was,
Oh, fair
honestly.
enough, fair enough.
And yeah, no, that's definitely something that I want to get back to. That's literally probably the only thing that I think is that like freeing fun that I engage in. Like cooking and baking is very, like, it's fun. I enjoy it. But it's still very serious because I'm like, I need it to taste good. And I'm gonna be
Yeah.
upset if it doesn't. Where it's like with skating, no, I can mess up. I can fall. I have so many videos of me falling on my ass and like laughing.
Yeah.
Like, or even like making the fall look sexy, like I'ma just fall into it. Like,
Girl.
or it's like the craziest fall, and I legit question if I'm gonna be able to walk in the morning. But all of it is fun. And so I definitely need to get back to that and just being goofy. But like, it's hard. It's
It
hard.
is it's
It's
hard, but
very
I
hard.
think just like anything else, you have to try.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself out there. So you have to put yourself out there to have fun, which sounds so crazy
Yeah.
because let's be honest, the people who are around you may define what you think is fun.
Yeah.
So if you only go to work, what you think is fun is happy hours
Um,
or
there's
hanging out, those dumb jokes that your coworkers make about whatever industry you're in.
you're
Like
in.
that's what you consider fun.
There's more to life than drinking and happy hours. Like there's so much more. Like I do want to go to
So
Sky Zone.
much more
Just-
than drinking. Like let's just start with that.
Can we go to Sky Zone? Can we do that? I want to go to Sky Zone.
Sky Zone, there's urban air. There's so many different like bouncy house like
Yeah, I'm
things.
be goofy.
There's so many different activities like hiking. There's so many things out there. There's events in every city. And I feel so crazy that I never go to any of them.
Mm,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the events are out there for people like me who are looking for friends. Great. I do have one more question.
absolutely.
Do you feel as if everyone, I should say, I feel like it's everyone, we are all in our waiting season?
I think yes and no. I think a good portion of people are in their waiting season.
Hmm.
I think some people are in their pruning season where it's like they really need to figure out what's ruining their harvest. Because I think some people
Mm,
have already brought fruit. And
I see.
I've seen it, you know, you can see it in the world where like some people are really flourishing, but like their surroundings really isn't helpful right now. And they
Yeah.
really need to prune either behaviors, either their circle or whatever the case is. I think that's its own piece. And then I do think a lot of people are in this waiting season because it's this transition moment, right? A lot of people are experiencing transition. And so as you're waiting in this transition, what skills, it almost feels like COVID, but like worse, right? Like where for a lot of people, COVID was a waiting season of like it's the opportunity to transition and to sit like with, okay, what
Yeah.
do I do next? What do I pour into myself at this moment? What do I realize? What's feeding me? What's not? But I feel like now some people are forced. Some people have been forced to truly wait, where it's like not really a choice. But I think this is the opportunity to propel themselves into something that was better for them.
Mm.
I don't know, what are
I
your thoughts?
think I'm a disagree with a portion. I do think everybody is in their waiting season. I think the waiting season, in order for a waiting season to happen, you have to have a choice of some sort.
Hmm.
Because my thing is in order to initiate the waiting season, you have to sacrifice. Because you have to enter it in some way. And I don't mean sacrifice meaning like you have to give up something. Your sacrifice might be staying where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to give up something like, and then that initiates your waiting season. So when you said COVID, I was like, I don't think COVID is. I think COVID may have been their pruning season, but not your waiting season. And
Mm.
you're like, because a lot of people cleared out their house. They got rid of things. They got rid of
That's fair. That's
relationships.
fair.
But I also think it was the pruning season because the level of transparency that has happened since COVID is astronomical in comparison.
So my question to you is, if sacrifice is a choice for the hundreds of people who've been laid off, is this season not a pruning season? Or is this season a pruning season for them, or is it a waiting season? In the sense that like they were literally forced into whatever this season looks like. Or is it the opportunity that they make out of this moment? Because I feel like that's, at least for some folks, they took COVID as the opportunity to wait and like shift. Some people changed industries.
I would say it's in somewhere in between a pruning season and like a dormant season.
Okay.
So a pruning season, and it depends on the person. So the pruning season might be, and I'll give my husband as an example, the job that he was at was not the right job for him.
Mm,
I could see it, he could see it, but knowing how loyal my husband is, he will not say it. So he needed somebody to prune him.
mm,
But it could lead to dormancy if he doesn't use this opportunity correctly.
right.
Now, the people who are being laid off and just hopping on Social Security, and I think some people did that in COVID too, who didn't use the opportunity to either discover themselves or figure out or learn more about themselves, which was also me. So don't feel
Mm,
like you're by yourself if you didn't. Um, I think those individuals became dormant,
mm,
i.e., me. I was also dormant. I think COVID was a potential pruning, and this is a dormant and potential pruning, and it's up to you to decide how it will play out.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because, I mean, not everybody took COVID for its advantage that it was,
Yeah,
or had the opportunity to even do so, because some people
that's
were
true
still
too.
working. So it could have just been, and some people were just sad to be inside. Some people got closer to their families. Like, it's so many different things that people could have done. Some
You
people
have
just
to
saw it as an opportunity to get drunk.
rest. Oh, I thought you were gonna say to rest.
No, that was me. That
Uh,
I took it as an opportunity to get drunk. But
okay.
no, you took the opportunity as to rest. You did the right thing. I did it.
Well, I wasn't resting. I was teaching and I was in grad school. I wanted to rest.
Right.
Yeah, girl. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who you said was resting. I ain't learned what the definition of rest was until what this summer, and I was still in grad school. What that looked like? That's another conversation for another day.
Do you think people learn the definition of rest in COVID, or do you think they are going to learn it?
No, I think they're going to. I think a lot of people, at least, I don't know, from the social media hype of like, this is the opportunity to learn how to code. And if you're not learning how to make a sourdough bread and then you're not using this time. And
Yeah.
I think it was like so many people use this as like, okay, what skills can I elevate? I did too. I learned how to bake. I learned how to make cinnamon rolls. My famous cinnamon rolls came from COVID. Thank COVID for y'all cinnamon rolls. Okay, because
You
like,
haven't tried.
whatever. That's another. Saying. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like people's picked up all these skills. I think people who were transparent with themselves
Uh-huh.
as with what was happening in the season knew that rest was what they needed, so they used that opportunity to do so. But I think other people who wanted to match the energy that other people were setting for them didn't take that time.
Mm. So that was transparent with themselves. Use the
Mm,
opportunity the way it was supposed to. The people who were lying to themselves
absolutely.
did not.
Mm, mm.
So, what are you going to do with this time? Are you going to lie to yourself and be dormant? Winter is coming. Or will you,
All right.
will you be transparent with yourself? Because
Yeah.
transparency leads to patience.
Yeah. And with that, I ain't got nothing else to
Yeah,
say.
with that, okay. We thank you for joining in. We don't have any listener letters because it's our first episode, but feel free to send some in. If you have a question or a deep thought or a topic that you would like us to discuss, you can send all your questions and concerns to theconqueringmentality@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
We thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you guys next